So, we talk about the different examples of ethnographic study on Wednesday, and now I'm going to show you one example of observational study. And as we know, observational studies and ethnographic study, they both fall under the category of qualitative study. Are we clear? And there are two kinds of observational study. One is participant observer. You can read the definitions for your own. And the other one is non-participant observer. And the studies conducted by Dr. Borchert or Dr. Philippe Bourgois, or the author of the book, The Sidewalk, I think they all fall under the category of participant observer. Actually, the books we talk about on Wednesday, they fall under observational study and ethnographic study. The authors of all these three books, I think it's three books, they did ethnographic study. They gained trust from respondents, they interacted with respondents, they gained trust from family members of respondents, they went to hang out in their families, in their events, in their parties. There was some kind of interaction going on when those books were written. But at the same time, they also observed how drug dealers, drug addicts act and behave in East Harlem, and how homeless people have an informal social control. I think these came out from participant observation, not only from ethnographic study. So the three books we talk about, they are actually both observation studies and ethnographic study. But for some researchers, they only do one. Usually, I think in most instances, when we do ethnographic studies, we also have to do observational studies. It's a no-brainer. When we interact, we also observe. But sometimes, we can choose to only do observational study. We don't have to interact. But the respondents, the study participants, they know we are observing them. Sometimes we let them know to gain their trust. Or sometimes we do a non-participant observation. They don't know. Let's say we observe people at Walmart. Sometimes in Walmart, in certain places. Not at Carney, I know. There is an employee who checks everybody's cards and receipts and whatnot. And sometimes we just do non-participation observation to see who are more likely to be checked. We don't have to let that guy or that girl knows. So I'm sure you read the definitions for the two. And another example of non-participant observer would be, this is a very, very old movie, 17 and Not Pregnant. Have you seen this movie, 17 and Not Pregnant? You can ask Dr. Google. It talks about a high school senior for her graduation project. I think her name is Gaby. I think Rodriguez or something. And she pretended to be pregnant. She wanted to see how the teachers, the friends, administrators' reaction changed towards her when she announced that she was pregnant. So this is one example of non-participant observation. Gaby did not let her intentions of the study known to people around her, to her friends, to her family members, only her mom and her boyfriend, that's about it. And to the school, teachers or administrators. So, I don't know if this movie is still available on YouTube, but obviously there's DVD, you don't have to watch it. If you happen to see the movie, you will see that people's reaction, the way people behave towards her changed when she announced her pregnancy. But they did not know that she was faking it. So this is one example of participant non-observation. Are we clear? So there are two kinds of observational studies. Are we clear? And we look at maybe 2 books written on homelessness. And they were done using ethnographic and participant observation study. They let participants know that what they intended to do, their motives and whatnot, why they were there. But there's another study that only used observational study. I forgot which kind. Participant observation or non-participant observation. We can find out later. I think it's participant observation, but I could be wrong. Because this, I think it's a guy again. He spent some time in homeless shelter. I'm sorry. It can also be non-participant observation. Let us find out later. He disguised as a homeless folks. He spent time in their shelters. And he only focused on women in women's shelter. He gathered all kinds of information about homeless women. And he really described what it means to be homeless from all these women. The perspective of all these homeless women. Are we clear?